From refugee to palace, a painful story of betrayal, suspense, love, and hope. My name is Shelly. I'm the only child of my parents, and I grew up in a home filled with real love. My father was once the president of my country, and my mother is a medical doctor. We lived well, and from the outside, it looked like life had given me everything anyone could ever want. But life has a way of taking you where you never imagined. One day, during one of my usual visits to a refugee camp, I met a man named Joseph. At the time, Joseph was broken. He had once been a married man, but his wife, Anita, had cheated on him with his best friend, Ahmed. What should have been a private betrayal turned into something much worse. His documents were revoked, his life fell apart, and he became stranded like a man with no country, no protection, no life, and no future. He had no food, no comfort, no peace. I could not ignore him. No, I just could not ignore him. So I started helping him. I sent two of my employees, one male, one female, regularly to take him food and make sure he was all right. I paid for a private doctor to see him. His English was poor, so I hired a teacher to support him. At that time, I did not know who Joseph really was. I did not know he came from a powerful family. I did not know he was a lawyer. I did not know his life carried secrets, pain, and a past that would one day collide with mine. I was simply helping a man in need, and that is how our story began. As time passed, something changed between us. One day, after years of knowing him, Joseph held my hand. We began to talk deeply. We discovered that we loved the same music: Mozart, Beethoven, jazz, R&B, and countryside songs. Did I mention blues? We sang together. We talked. We laughed. We danced. In the middle of so much pain, something gentle was growing: love. But love did not come without a storm. By then, people had started talking. They accused me of breaking Joseph's marriage. They called me names: homebreaker, home wrecker, husband snatcher, and so many other filthy names. They did not care that when I met Joseph, he was already in pain. They did not care that I was only helping him survive. They did not care about the truth. Soon, the pressure became unbearable. My license as a lawyer was revoked. My name was dragged through papers. I could hardly go anywhere without judgment following me. And while all this was happening, I discovered that I was pregnant. I was expecting twins. I had not even fully guarded my own emotions while life threw another blow at me. I went to visit Joseph's family, hoping perhaps for understanding, but they rejected me. I stood there carrying pain, carrying shame, carrying children, and carrying a love story nobody wanted to bless. I also visited my parents. By then, My father was no longer president. He had retired quietly to the countryside. I saw my family, gathered my strength, and returned again, trying to find my feet. But England had become too heavy for me, so I left. I moved to Spain. Spain became my refuge. It became the place where I began again, the place where I carried my twins, the place where I tried to breathe after everything I had lost. For a while, Joseph and I were apart. During that time, I met another man. He was kind and we were friends, but nothing serious had happened. Just when it seemed life might be opening another chapter, Joseph came back into my life. And when he came back with truth. His family had been pressuring him to return to Anita. But then a DNA test was done, and the shocking truth came out. The child Anita claimed belonged to Joseph was not his child after all. The child was fathered by Ahmed, Joseph's own best friend. The betrayal was deeper than anyone knew. The lies were bigger than anyone imagined. The same people who had judged me, the same people who had blamed me, the same people who had tried to make me the villain were now forced to face the truth. Joseph finally walked away from Anita. He walked away from the lies. He walked away from the pressure of his family. And he chose me. Not because I chased him, not because I took him from someone else, but because when he was hungry, I fed him. When he was abandoned, I stood by him. When his life was falling apart, I saw him as a human being before I ever knew anything else. This is the power of kindness. Today, Joseph and I are living together with our twins, and we are doing well. After all the pain, all the disgrace, all the rejection, all the tears, love still found us. So, this is my message to anyone listening. Never turn your back on someone in need. The person you help today may become one of the greatest blessings in your life tomorrow. You do not always know who God is sending across your path. You do not always know whose story is tied to yours. Sometimes the person you are helping through pain becomes a person who will walk with you into healing. This is not just a love story. It is a story of betrayal, a story of survival, a story of kindness, a story of suspense, a story of pain, and in the end, a story of love. From refugee camp to palace secrets, from public shame to private healing, from heartbreak to hope. This is my story. My name is Shelly, and this is From Refugee to Palace.